What if the Odyssey was never a myth at all? What if every monster, every god, every impossible voyage was a real event, distorted by centuries of retelling, wrapped in the only language that survived? Symbol? This work strips the supernatural from Homer's epic. What remains is something far more unsettling: political conflict, maritime survival, the slow, violent collapse of Bronze Age civilization. The myth is not fantasy, it is code. Odysseus is not a founder. He builds nothing. He is the last gesture of an age of warrior kings, a man trying to walk home through the ruins of everything he helped destroy. His return is not a military victory. It is individual survival. He does not prepare a throne for his son. He does not secure a dynasty. His presence marks an ending, the final chapter of a world that burned itself down at Troy. Consider Circe, not a sorceress, a political leader, a woman who understood that armed men arriving at her shore meant danger. Turning men into pigs, that's not magic, that's the loss of discipline. Warriors who abandoned their identity, who dissolved into her community. She contained them, recruited them, turned soldiers into a protective force under her control. Odysseus alone could not be absorbed. He was too dangerous, too singular. So she isolated him and eventually expelled him. The descent to the underworld was not a journey into death. It was a journey into a cave, a Bronze Age prison. In the ancient world, caves held the exiled, the defeated, the politically inconvenient. The dead that Odysseus meets are not ghosts. They are survivors, war refugees, broken commanders, victims of the same collapse he is fleeing. And the prophecies they offer? Not visions from beyond, just hard-won experience, warnings from men who had already lost everything. The sirens were not supernatural. They were desperate. Isolated female communities surviving after war had taken their men. Song, seduction, deception. These were weapons, non-military weapons. Their goal was simple: lure passing ships close, seize supplies, eliminate threats before they could strike first. Odysseus does not fight them. He disables his crew's senses, plugs their ears, binds himself. He passes without engagement. It is the strategy of a man who has learned that not every threat requires a sword. Scylla and Charybdis is one of the most realistic passages in the entire poem. A narrow strait. On one side, a whirlpool, total destruction. On the other, a coastal ambush, partial losses. Odysseus chooses Scylla. He chooses to lose 6 men rather than lose everyone. And he does not tell his crew. He lets them row toward danger in ignorance because panic would kill them all. This is the moment he stops being a hero. He becomes something harder, a pragmatic leader, willing to sacrifice the few to save the many. The island of the sun was not sacred ground. It was a protected food reserve, cattle kept alive as a strategic resource during famine. When Odysseus's starving men slaughter the herd, they are not committing blasphemy. They are breaking security law. It is mutiny born of desperation. And the divine punishment that follows? An armed response, shipwreck, elimination. Odysseus survives for one reason only: he did not eat. Calypso represents a third model of feminine power. Not confrontation, not deception, withdrawal. She is a family, a small system that survived the war by disappearing. Holding Odysseus is not love, it is a security measure. A returned warrior could reignite the very conflicts her world had escaped. She releases him only when the political landscape shifts, when his return no longer threatens her peace.
The Phaeacians are the neutral state.
Skilled sailors who survived by refusing to take sides. They transport Odysseus home in his sleep, a poetic way of saying he surrendered control. Trusted strangers, let himself be carried. For a man who had controlled everything for 20 years, that surrender may have been the hardest passage of all.
He returns in
Secret, not magic, tactical necessity. The disguise is reconnaissance. He needs to see who holds power before he reveals himself. The suitors are not villains from a fable. They are an ambitious elite, filling a vacuum left by a king assumed dead. And Penelope, her waiting is not weakness. It is the most sophisticated survival strategy in the poem. She holds legitimacy without force, delays without refusing, keeps the throne warm for a man who may never come. When Odysseus strikes, it is one decisive blow, not open war, restoration of authority through precision and violence. And then there is Athena, not a goddess, a system, a network of political intelligence. She drove the Greek kings toward Troy, not for honor, but to neutralize an entire generation of warrior heirs, a controlled demolition of the old order. Her support for Odysseus is not favoritism, it is management. He is the last witness to an age she helped destroy, and she needs him to close it cleanly. After the return, Odysseus's son Telemachus is sent to the most dangerous island in the region. Accompanied by another king's son, their fate is never recorded. Athena does not kill, she removes. Old legitimacy is quietly erased. No bloodshed, no spectacle. Just silence where a dynasty used to be. The Odyssey is not a story about a hero coming home. It is a record of how an entire world ended, told through the eyes of the last man standing. The women in this story are not marginal. They are essential. Circe, the Sirens, Calypso, Penelope, each one a different strategy for surviving a world on fire. And Odysseus? He is not a hero of glory, he is a survivor, a man who closed an era and in doing so disappeared into it. The myth remembers him as a legend. The truth may be far simpler. He was the last one left.